Albania, July 2026. Picture this. Your country's poorest in Europe. Hospitals underfunded. Some schools still heated with firewood. And then, 5 days before a private concert, your government quietly signs off on nearly 5 million euros of public money from a fund legally reserved for earthquakes and floods. How a private event became a state bailout? May 2026. Kanye West, now performing as Ye, announces a Tirana concert for July 11th at a brand new 60,000-seat stadium built specifically for one night. The government's line, repeated publicly by the culture minister, not one lek of state money would be spent. 2 companies would ran it. Streetlife International out of Berlin, the same promoter behind tours for 50 Cent, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and their local partners, Red Cloud and Live Label in Tirana. Ticket prices ran 120 to 339 euros. The first flash sale moved 10,000 tickets in 2 hours. But by late May, sales had stalled at around 25,000 of 60,000 seats, well short of the roughly 40,000 ticket break-even point calculated by Albanian business magazine Monitor. And it stayed there for weeks. July 3rd, Red Cloud tells the ministry the concert is now at risk of collapsing. July 6th, 5 days before showtime, the Council of Ministers passes Normative Act No. 3. It invokes Article 101 of the Constitution, emergency powers, meant for situations of, quote, need and urgency. The act redirects 400 million lek, around 4.5 million euros, from the State Reserve Fund to the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Sport. Published the same day. In force immediately. Here's the problem. Albania's own budget law, Law 9936, Article 3.15, defines the reserve fund as being for, quote, non-permanent and unforeseen expenses. Article 5 says it can be used only for costs that could not have been predicted when the budget was drafted. A concert announced months in advance with a signed contract and tickets on public sale since May. That is, by definition, not unforeseen. Albanian lawyer Fiona Kapali put it simply. If a concert that's been selling tickets for months can suddenly become a national emergency, then the reserve fund isn't for disasters anymore. It's a fund for putting out the fire of unsold tickets. Why the shortfall? Local sponsors mostly stayed away. Nobody wanted their brand next to Ye's history of anti-Semitic remarks and Nazi-glorifying statements. Ticket prices were steep for the local market, and several European countries had already canceled his shows outright. Prime Minister Edi Rama defended the payment, saying it was needed at the last minute to avoid embarrassing Albania in front of roughly 25,000 foreign ticket holders from 80 countries. He claimed the concert would generate at least 100 million euros in economic impact, later revised upward to 120 million by the culture minister. No cost-benefit analysis has ever been published, and prominent Albanian figures have called the number unrealistic, publicly. When pressed, the Albanian tourism minister pointed to Turkey as precedent, claiming the Turkish government put in about 4.5 million euros for Ye's Istanbul concert a month earlier, in May, at Ataturk Olympic Stadium, in front of 118,000 people. I checked this directly. Every independent report on that concert, Variety, Billboard, Türkiye Today, TRT World, Forbes, describes it as organized entirely by private companies. ILS Vision, Tema CC, NTR Team. Organizer estimates put tourism revenue at $50 to $100 million. Not one of these reports mentions Turkish government funding. Anywhere. Zoom out further. Countries that pour state money into mega events. Saudi Arabia's Entertainment Authority, Azerbaijan's Eurovision and Formula One hosting, Qatar's World Cup, all budget that money openly as planned investment from day one. Compare that to Fire Festival in 2017, a private concert that actually collapsed from oversold promises. The government did not step in, it failed publicly, and the organizer went to prison. There is no known case of another government reaching into a disaster reserve fund to rescue a private concert from a ticket sales shortfall, days before it happened. To fill the half-empty stadium, investigative outlet BIRN found schools across Tirana, distributing free tickets to students through WhatsApp groups, alongside public employees, reportedly including Parliament's own staff, pressured to attend. All of this while daily anti-government protests entered their 38th day, originally sparked by a Kushner-linked resort project tied to broader corruption concerns. So here's what we actually know, on the record. A private concert publicly declared self-financed, missing its sales targets. Bailed out 5 days before showtime with public money from a fund meant for disasters. Justified with a foreign precedent that doesn't check out. And propped up by school kids and civil servants ordered to fill the seats. That's not tourism policy. That's a government treating its own emergency powers like a slush fund and betting nobody would check the math.